Our next topic is 5G SA handover, inter-G node B DU and inter-G node B CU handover. Mobility is an important feature in any telecom generation, and so it is in 5G. The basic handover procedure remains same as it was in legacy networks. That is, UE reports measurement report with neighbor cell PCI and signal strength to source cell. Source cell take the decision to start handover procedure to best target cell, and target cell completes the handover procedure. In LTE, we used to have different types of intra-system. LTE to LTE handover like X2 based handover, S1 based handover, interfrequency, intra-frequency and intersector handovers. Similarly, 3GPP specification has defined different intra-system 5G NR to 5G NR handovers. Example, XN based handover, N2 or N gap based handover, intra and interfrequency handovers. Apart from above mentioned handovers, 5G has defined some handover types based on newly introduced disaggregated G node B DU and G node B CU architecture. Considering G node B DU and G node B CU implementation, we can have following types of handovers. First, intra G node B DU handover. Second, inter G node B DU and intra G node B CU handover. Source and target G node B DU connected to common G node B CU. Third, inter G node B CU handover. It can be XN or N2 based handover. In this, we will discuss about inter 5G G node B DU and intra G node B CU handover. When the UE moves from one G node B DU to another G node B DU within the same G node B CU during NR operation. First picture on the screen depicts the mobility scenarios where UEs is connected to source cell 1 with PCI, 22 with G node B, DU1. It is moving toward target cell 2 with PCI 21 with G node B, DU2. In this handover procedure, the signaling will involve messaging over F1 interface using F1 AP protocols and over E1 interface using E1 AP protocols. There will not be any signaling exchange towards 5G core as all control plane and user plane context is managed by CU. Both source and target cell comes under the same CU. Our next topic is handover call flow. Step 1. Measurement report. The UE sends a measurement report message to the source G node B DU, including the serving cell and neighboring cell signal strength. Step 2. ULRRC message transfer. The source G node B DU sends an ULRRC message transfer message to the G node B CUCP to convey measurement report information. Based on measurement report, CUCP decides for handover. Step 3. UE context setup request. The G node B CUCP sends an UE context setup request message to the target G node B DU to create an UE context and set up SRBs and DRBs bearers. Step 4. UE context setup response. The target G node B DU responds to the G node B CUCP with an UE context setup response which new allocated C, RNTI and SRBs and DRBs setup list. Step 5 to 6. Bearer modification. G node B CUCP send bearer context modification request to G node B CUUP with list of DRBs to be modified, and G node B CUUP respond back with modification response. Step 7. UE context modification request. The G node B CUCP sends a UE context modification request message to the source G node B DU, which includes a generated RRC reconfiguration message and indicates to stop the data transmission for the UE. The source GNodeB DU also sends a downlink data delivery status frame to inform the GNodeB CUUP about the unsuccessful transmitted downlink data to the UE. Step 8. Handover command. The source GNodeB DU forwards the received RRC reconfiguration message having HO command to the UE. Step 9. UE context modification response. The source GNodeB DU responds to the GNodeB CUCP with the UE context modification response message indication that RRC reconfiguration has been sent to UE. Step 10. RATCH on target. A random access procedure is performed at the target GNodeB DU. The target GNodeB DU sends a downlink data delivery status frame to inform the GNodeB CU. Downlink packets, which may include PDCP, PDUs not successfully transmitted in the source GNodeB DU, are sent from the GNodeB CU to target GNodeB DU. Note: it is up to GNodeB CU implementation whether to start sending DL user data to GNodeB DU before or after reception of the downlink data delivery status. Step 11. Reconfiguration complete. The UE responds to the target GNodeB DU with an RRC reconfiguration complete message. Step 12. ULRRC message transfer. The target GNodeB DU sends an ULRRC message transfer message to the GNodeB CU to convey the received RRC reconfiguration complete message. Downlink packets are sent to the UE. Also, uplink packets are sent from the UE, which are forwarded to the GNodeB CU through the target GNodeB DU. Step 13. UE context release. The GNodeB CUCP sends an UE context release command message to the source GNodeB DU with proper cause value to release the UE context. Step 14. The source GNodeB DU releases the UE context and responds the GNodeB CUCP with an UE context release complete message. Here I conclude this course. Hope you understand all the concepts clearly. Our next topic is 5G NR Dual Active Protocol Stack Handover. As per 3GPP DAPS, handover can be defined as a handover procedure that maintains the source GNodeB connection after reception of RRC message. Handover command for handover and until releasing the source cell after successful random access to the target GNodeB. Now let's look into some of the characteristics of DAPS handover. First, UE continue transfer or reception at the source cell after receiving the handover request. Second, UE performs simultaneous reception of user data from source and target cell. Third, UE switch uplink transmission of user data to target cell after completion of RATCH procedure. Fourth, DAPS reduces interruption during handover close to 0 millisecond by maintaining the source cell radio link, including data flow, while establishing the target cell radio link. Fifth, DAPS handover is possible over both interface, XN and N2. Sixth, a DAPS handover can be used for an RLC AM or RLC UM bearer. Why DAPS handover is required? Let's see. In legacy 4G LTE networks and 5G NR till release 15, the UE typically releases the connection from the source cell before the connection is established with the target cell, hard handover. Due to this, uplink and downlink transmission is finalized at source cell before the UE starts to communicate with the target cell, results an interruption of a few tenths of millisecond in the communication between the UE and the base station. This interruption is very critical for URLCC use case or application within 5G. So 3GPP has proposed a solution to overcome this problem as part of Release 16 named as Dual Active Protocol Stack DAPS, where UE connection with source cell to remain active for reception and transmission of user data until it is able to send and receive user data in the target cell. This put a new requirement at UE side to simultaneously receive and transmit data at both source cell and target cell for a short time period during the handover procedure. DAPS handover call flow. DAPS handover call flow is shown in figure. DAPS handover is possible over both interface XN and N2 interface. Here we have considered handover based on XN interface. The source G-Node B configures the UE measurement procedures and the UE reports measurement report according to the MEAS config. The source G-Node B decides to hand over the UE based on measurement report and RRM information. The source G-Node B issues a handover request message to the target G-Node B, passing a transparent RRC container with necessary information to prepare the handover at the target site. The target G-Node B prepares the handover and sends the handover request acknowledged to the source G-Node B, which include a transparent container to be sent to the UE as an RRC message to perform the handover. The target G-Node B also indicates if a DAPS handover is accepted. The source G-Node B triggers the UU handover by sending an RRC reconfiguration message to the UE. For DRBs configured with DAPS, the source G-Node B sends the early status transfer. The UE synchronizes to the target cell and completes the RRC handover procedure by sending RRC reconfiguration complete message to target G-Node B. Target G-Node B sends the handover success message to the source G-Node B to inform that the UE has successfully accessed the target cell. Source G-Node B sends the SN status transfer message for the DRBs configured with DAPS as per early status transfer. Here I conclude this course. Hope you understand all the concepts clearly. Meet you in the next course.
If you have any queries, please get in touch with us by typing your comment in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe to our videos. So what are you waiting for? Join us for the course and do subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Also, if you like our videos, don't forget to hit the like button and share our videos.